Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this last Wednesday of the month of May of 2024. When I see you next week, we'll be at the midway point in this 2024 year. I am astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. As you see, I have my very distinguished friend that we've been doing this together for over 40 years. So we have a history, as people like to say, brother Revels-Bey, and then my baby brothers, I call him Brandon Smith. They are both going to be featured tonight. We're going to be talking about the benefits of meditation. A lot of people have been under a lot of mental stress and whatnot. I consider Revels-Bey the guru of meditation. Seriously, I mean he's a superb numerologist, but he's also mastered the art of meditation. So between him and brother Brandon Smith. Now, Brandon has also, in fact, formed a meditation group for which I was a guest on the show about 2-3 weeks ago. So it is for the benefit. And yes, these two are expert numerologists and they will give you readings too. But before we do that, I want to let you know that the show is brought to you by intellectualpowers.net. Riza Islam's supplements, is herbals. I mean, it's really a great product. Also, another sponsor I have is Nicholas Brooklyn out at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. I'm going to have Monique on, who is the daughter of the parents that actually founded it 50 years ago. And she's going to be talking about that, some of the other things that's coming up. Also, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, who is just absolutely superb individual, especially when it comes to finances and things of that nature. And also Miss Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose. Her lectures this Wednesday, this morning, I should say, and Monday was very, very enlightening. So, and I like how she tells it in a story version where you get the point. So please tend to or check that out. Also, this is the last day of the sale. This is the last call. Now, Jazz Aphrodite's books are very, very limited. And when books are limited, they become classics later on. So what I'm saying is if you want to be ahead of the curve and get yours now, after that, this is a wrap. So it can be said you can get both books, okay? You can get either one or the other or both. But go to jazzaphrodite.com/shop, jazzaphrodite.com/shop, and just place your order. And King Simon, he is coming up with a 2-day special on the weekend of October 12th and 13th, excuse me. I know it's kind of early, but his tickets go on sale on July 1st. Well, listen, King Simon is a visionary. What can I tell you? He's definitely going to be ahead of the curve. But before we bring on my distinguished guest, though, let me tell you about the forecast. And before I do, let me, I always forget. I always say May so-and-so. But I or Lloyd Stray or Live with Lloyd will never DM you for monies. This is very important. Unfortunately, there are people that are trying to imitate what I do, pretend to be me, and want to give you a reading. Some of the languages when they say, okay, love. I don't talk to my clients like that. I'm not that familiar with you to talk to you like, okay, love. Okay, boo. Okay, sugar. That's not how I talk to my clients. I'm a very professional person, as Brother Revels-Bey and Brandon Smith are. And there's certain ways we comport ourselves when we talk to you. And love ain't one of them. Okay, boo ain't one of them. So, in light of that, I'm just saying, other than above that, though, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm beginning after going on 3 years next. And in fact, in July, we'll make 3 years that Live with Lloyd has been on. And I think I'm finally getting it that this affects the algorithms. How so? I don't know. But if my moderators on Monday and Wednesday says it, so it is so. Anyway, this is Wednesday, May 29th of 2024. The sun is in Gemini. The moon is in Aquarius, but it moves into Pisces at 8:33 p.m. this evening. It's a 4 universal month, an 8 universal week, a 6 universal day. So for those under the signs of Libra, like Brandon Smith, or Taurus, or those that are born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, The 16th is my other distinguished guest, Francis E. Revels-Bey. The 20th, the 25th, or the 29th. Well, this is going to be a very important day. So before I get to everybody, let me hold on. Let me do one thing. Get this out the way. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Okay. There we go. There we go. Hi, everybody. I want to thank everybody very much. I was on this gentleman's show last night, Eric Taylor, out of Arizona, state of Arizona, and we had a great time. In fact, I'm going to be bringing him on either near the end of June or somewhere in July. But it was very nice. The hospitality he showed me was very nice. The people that tuned into his platform, it was a totally different platform. It wasn't StreamYard, it wasn't Zoom. It was something I wasn't familiar with, but nonetheless, I thanked him very, very profusely. He's kind of old school, know how to treat a guest when a guest comes into the home. Anyway, all right. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my first distinguished guest there, Brother Revels-Bey. How you doing, buddy? Ho, ho, ho. Let me see. How you doing?
I'm
Frank?
doing pretty good.
Good,
You
good.
know, I'm here in the apartment area, and I'm the one where the AC went last night. So
Yeah, yeah, it's always something, man.
always,
In
but
fact, what's the temperature there in New Mexico?
yeah, we're doing about 83, and it gets warmer as the day goes. So
Interesting.
I can wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning at 67. 2 hours later, it could be 77. And
Wow.
then the sun gets brighter instead of going down. It gets bright. So people are driving with tinted windows, tinted rooftops,
Yeah,
and sunglasses
yeah,
on, and still
yeah,
going like this,
yeah,
driving down the road because it's so bright.
yeah. Well,
You know,
it's interesting. Brandon Smith is going to be joining us also. And I chose this last day of the month to talk about a concern that seems to be so challenging, which is a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are going through a lot of mental changes. And one of the benefits that costs actually people nothing is learning the art of meditation. Now, you have been a numerologist for 40 years and probably meditating for 38 years. I mean, that's how long you've been doing this. So I consider you one of the official gurus when it comes to doing this. So, for those who may not understand in its simplest form, what is meditation, Rebels Bay?
okay. Meditation is defined as the act of finding your center of being. And I always ask, well, being what? Yeah.
Well, you can't help it, 207. I know that.
Being what is the thing, and that is, are you seeking rest? Are you seeking higher consciousness? Are you seeking ways to improve your health using meditation? Are you trying to delve into the metaphysical states and awareness, the spirituality? Are you someone who's seeking to walk the occult path? Meditation is used all the time, and it's become, I think, in the last 20 years, I was last 30 years mainstream. You
Mm.
know,
Hmm.
I always bring up the example, Phil Jackson, being, I think he was a forward for the Knicks.
Yes,
Then he
yes.
winds up in Chicago with a coaching job. And what does he do with the team? He burns sage and has them sitting in meditation. And the guys was
He was
thinking,
probably the only coach to do that, too.
only coach to do that. Where the Dallas Cowboys, they were taking their athletes and giving them ballet classes to loosen up
Interesting.
their hips and their knees. And that guy with Ricky Williams, he's an astrologer. He's into astrology and things. So all of these people, and like we see, Terrence Howard, he's talking about stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Cat's got a IQ. He said a IQ of 163. These people are doing stuff. They're getting away from entertainment. They're starting to let their inner side shine. So meditation is a way of getting inside of yourself to try to connect with that greater side. Our internal subconscious mind is actually the reflection of the universe. And you're trying to bring your Western, your left hemisphere in to your right hemisphere. Utilize the back lobe and the front lobe to create this moving organic part of yourself.
So
That
that's we're talking about a meeting of the minds, literally.
yeah, within yourself, you
Yeah.
know. And and this is why, over the last 15, 20 years, people say try not to sleep with a TV set on in your bedroom.
I don't know why people do that.
Well, because
And they even let their children go to sleep with the TV on too.
that a lot of that has to do with fear of
What do you
being
mean?
fear. Yeah, I find some people. I'm afraid to, be in my house by myself. I have nobody visiting, even though they had hordes of people over there hours ago. But when it's they feel like they're going to miss something. But what they don't understand is when they start to dream, that last 90 minutes when you fall into the dream world, you're still picking up everything that's on the TV set because you can hear it.
And that's commercials and everything. This is what I'm
Commercials,
saying.
everything, news. So I've had people come to me, man, can you help me interpret this dream? I don't know what it means. And they tell me the dream. And then they said, and for some crazy reason, ice cream was in the dream. I said, well, you watching TV last night? I didn't think about it. I said, yeah, commercial popped in.
By the
You know?
way, by the way, although Revels-Bey and I, we've been knowing each other for decades, so we're kind of laughing, but we're very serious. But I also want to
Yeah,
let all the viewers know that Revels-Bey and Brandon Smith will be doing readings later on, so you can definitely leave your birthdays in the comment. We might spill a little over, but I wanted to kind of like make it clear that meditation
it's
opens up
important.
opens up things that it's just amazing. I was explaining my experience with meditation. I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to catch the train when I go down the subway station. The train is just coming in just 2 or 3 minutes away, not even that long. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just I don't. It's just so amazing. A lot of the ideas and concepts I came up with my audiobook came out of
Hmm.
meditation. A lot of things have come, and I would imagine your books too.
The last couple of books, I sit down and do a meditation, and then I ask through my higher self, "What are give me I got the topic, the title of the book. I'll give me the subtitle later. Like this book here was the coolest thing because it represents all the years from 1971 up to now of
This is the
me,
one I take it of Radiant Heart.
yes,
Let me
of
show this.
being able to learn how to meditate, to go very deep with myself, how to ride off the rhythm of your own breathing, how to really feel your heartbeat, how to, like for instance, guys that play African drums and
Mhm.
native drums, they will tell you those rhythms are coming from their heartbeat. It's what they're feeling on the inside. And we do that in jazz, R&B. It's the same. We're not thinking, we're feeling the rhythm. And so meditation teaches you how to pay attention. I'm quite sure when you're getting ready to leave your house, you can feel where that train is on the track. And you're inside your apartment building. And you're
Yeah, I
going,
don't even have to look to see, okay, let me get ready to go catch the train so I'm not waiting forever for the next one. I
mhm,
don't even look. I'm so confident that whenever I leave, that's when I'm supposed to leave. And
right.
very, very rarely am I waiting no more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the train is literally coming into the station.
Yeah. And you had just arrived on the platform.
Oh, I got to bring my other buddy on. This is my baby brother here, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
Brother Francis, Brother Lloyd.
Yeah,
I'm-
baby brother. That brother got more hair than I do. That's why I have to wear a cap.
oh,
well,
glad to be
well,
here tonight
you
amongst
see,
the
Yeah.
Revels-Bey and I are brothers. That's it. You the new kid on the block, so you baby brother. Okay, it's all
right.
family though.
Yes.
That's the main thing. Brandon, let me switch to you a second. I was telling them before coming on to the show that I was invited to be a guest in your meditation group. I know you haven't been meditating as long as Revels-Bey. He's been meditating forever, so that's no competition. How did
Dinosaur.
you get into meditation, and what is meditation to you? Because I asked Revels-Bey his definition of meditation.
So I actually got into meditation about eight, 8 or 10 years ago consciously. I've always had subconscious awareness of meditation since I think at earliest of like maybe 4 years old. But consciously in the last maybe 8 to 10 years when I started getting involved in like pranic healing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my exposure to meditation, especially using meditation for the purposes of um, health and wellness, whether it was I was in a crisis or just to maintain good health and wellness. And so for me, meditation is really a state where we can make anything possible for us. And that's really about like in the mental, the emotional, the subconscious mind, because in those places was where we actually make changes and lasting impacts on our lives. So that for me, that's what meditation is. It's really that it's a tool, it's a resource that allows you to really be in control of your life.
Excellent. Now, Revels-Bey, I'm going to start with you. Then I'm going to
Mhm.
do the same question to Brandon.
Okay.
When a person first starts, they're often discouraged because they think the brain is just going to just shut down and it's in a void. Yet the brain is constantly busy. How do you ease them into learning how to meditate?
Well, it's like I tell my students that I teach out here on a regular basis on Saturdays and the ones online. You never stop thinking.
Yeah,
That's everything in the universe is constantly moving until you everything in the sky around you is moving until you put your attention on it. It looks like it's standing still because you have placed your attention. But the minute you look away, it's moving. It's the same way I used to tell people when we sat in school, can't wait for that clock, like to hit 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you look at the clock all day long, it's not moving. Your attention goes away, and next thing you know, you're doing something in class, and bang, everything rings off, and it's now 4 o'clock. It's ready for you to go. So your mind is constantly in motion. You can't stop it. And I tell people, don't try to stop it because trying to stop it also will get you in trouble. You will stop certain reflexes that you have naturally to defend
interesting.
yourself, to get out of danger. So don't
Interesting.
stop those things.
Interesting.
That's the part of who you are. What you're going to learn how to do is accept it, realize you have images going and coming all the time. Now, what I tell the student to do next is just pay attention to how you feel while you're breathing. So, one of the first concepts I bring up is the importance of breathing and finding a place where you can sit and not be disturbed. Because if you can get in the same spot physically all the time, you're building up energy in that environment like a battery, like a transformer. And what you're able to do is, if you're not home and you're trying to get home, like you guys have to use subways and stuff, there's a part of your house where you meditate all the time. That thing is boom, 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 boom. It's giving off a vibe. You tune into it. I bet you Brandon will tell you, I tune into that spot. I'm home like that. I'm going up the stairs, putting the key in the door.
And in
Because that
fact, because I was
energy is
about to ask,
radiating.
and Brandon, in your case, what do you do to tell people that, because I think when you say, okay, meditate, they think they're going to close their eyes and they don't wonder the mind is always something is coming into the, what do you tell your students that you got?
So, similar to what Brother Francis said, but the first thing I tell them to do is to don't try to quiet the mind. Allow the thoughts to go.
Mhm.
And if you discover in meditation that you tend to wander off, or your mind it draws you away, when you have that awareness, just bring yourself back to where you were. You can things like focus on the breath. There are people who use meditation beads or prayer beads, and so
Mhm.
these
We have seen those. Yeah.
yeah, these are different tools that you can use just to help in terms of keeping a sense of focus. Another thing is that's very powerful is from the teachings of my spiritual teacher, Master Choa Koksui. He has a meditation that says, "I am the soul," and there's a line in the meditation where he says, "I am not the thoughts." And so, what I tell my students to use that as a mantra. So when you're beginning and you're having all these wild thoughts, just I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the thoughts. These thoughts are not mine. They're just out there. And sometimes Lloyd and Brother Francis can detest. I mean, can also testify to this. Is that some of the thoughts that we experience are not our thoughts. We're picking up the thoughts that are in the atmosphere, that are in the environment.
I
Just
think
like the
that's very
radio station.
interesting. And Francis said one thing earlier, like how if you're like staring at something or focus, it's like, let's say we're looking at a clock and we're looking for a minute. Seem like that minute will take forever before it gets to the next minute. But if we just look away, the minute is come and gone before we know it.
Right.
Yep.
So that means everything is in motion. You become the observer. But what meditation will teach you, it's a splendid thing when you finally arrive with yourself. Not only are you the observer, you're it. The universe says, tag, you're it now. You are this miniature part of the universe watching everything go by, not responding to anything. You don't have to respond to it. You pick up. I tell my students, you want to really get good? Is there a park nearby? Go to a park and see what and I'll go with them the first time, and we'll radiate so much energy, people are nowhere around. Then they said, well, how do we get to see people around us? I said, just like the clock. Envision people within 10 feet of you, just standing there. And while we're busy meditating, when we come out, there they are, group of people standing there. And they see us open our eyes and they go like, can I sit with you? I said, sure. But the vibration I put out was for someone to be calm, to sit, not somebody coming there just talking because they want to see if they can interrupt your flow. But there are certain things that you learn how to do. Like you talk about focus. I always keep some type of gemstone. I'll keep a selenite piece around because I've been doing this stuff since 1971. I don't claim to be a master with it because I have my moments too. My mind will wander.
Me too.
And once it's like a wild stallion, once it wanders and
It
it
goes.
wanders too much,
It goes.
it's gone. So
Yeah, because
it's
I'm saying, where's that coming from?
So what I tell people, the don'ts of meditation. Don't sit for meditation if you're very tired. Don't sit for
Interesting.
meditation if you're hungry. Don't do that. Don't sit for meditation if you partied like crazy last night. You got this serious hangover. Don't meditate the next day. You just do something else.
Now, Brandon, do you have don't also for your students? Don't do this in terms of a suggestion of getting into it, like Revels-Bey?
See, because I'm not quite at the guru level of Brother Revels-Bey. I don't put them as don'ts. I give them as encouraged suggestions.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just how we look at it. Same thing. So, what would you suggest to them?
I mean, there's so many different things. Of course, a lot of what Brother Francis has said. But the main thing is don't do your meditation in comparison to someone else.
Right.
The most important thing about meditation is to allow your meditation to be organic to you. Now, there are some people who prefer guided meditation.
That makes sense, Brandon. That makes a lot of sense. Go ahead.
There's some people who prefer guided meditations. There's some people who prefer a more open, free meditation. So I tell people, do what works best for you, but be consistent with it. Develop a practice, whether you're creating a time, a location. Maybe your location is movement. So wherever you are, you're constantly in a state of meditation rather. But those are like my main things that I would say.
Now I'm going to ask you a question first, and then Revels-Bey. What's the in between guided meditation and the other meditation?
Is right there in the word. One is guided.
One is guided. The other is you on your own, Jack.
I understand you go to law school.
I can't help it joking, but go ahead, Brandon. You first.
Yeah, I'll speak to the guided because I have a preference for guided meditations. And I've been on meditations with Brother Francis, and he'll start you off on the journey, and then he'll let you go. So for me, with guided meditations, Because my mind has this wonderful ability to get distracted by the slightest little thing, it helps me to stay focused, and especially if I'm doing different things. So some of my meditations may be focused on spiritual development, some of my meditations may be like I talked about earlier, about physical health, some may be mental health, emotional health, some may be connecting with the higher soul. So each meditation may have like a different purpose, and it's easier for me to be able to ingrain kind of like that program of the meditation as I listen to it. And then it gets to a point where I already know the steps of the meditation, and so I can go into into that space and go through it. But just as a general preference, I prefer guided meditations.
Revels-Bey, guided
Okay.
meditation versus the other meditation. What's your definition of guided?
Okay, well, I have something called Creative Pathwork series. And so I have developed, but I only use maybe about 20 of them, but I have developed over almost 400 guided meditations over the years since 1996. So what happens is I'll introduce somebody. I'll say what I do on my Saturday groups. I introduce people to mindfulness meditation, and
Hmm.
that's learning how to put 100% focused awareness on some part of your body. And you're sitting in a group with other people. And I let them know the group is safe. Nobody's in there is perfect. I
Mhm.
said, now, if one of us falls asleep, you hear him snoring, don't wake him up. Let them sleep, because they're there for a reason. There's a
Yeah,
deepness that's there. And some
yeah.
people, even though you hear them breathing heavy, they're not really asleep. They're in a very deep level of meditation. They just don't know that they're there. Because I teach mindfulness meditation, I can determine from a group of 4 people to 30 people in the room who needs to be more centered, who needs to be more grounded, because I've learned that those levels of sensitivity, and I'll say I learned them through the practice of Tai Chi, how to pay attention to what's going on around me.
Mhm,
Sometimes I
mhm.
will get up from my chair and literally walk out into the hallway and sense right in the hallway who is on point with it, who isn't. So I'm familiar with expansion. I carry a big field of expansion when I meditate with my students. And I'm at this point in my life, I can bring them inside that circle and pay attention to them energetically. The next thing I try to get people to do is I will give them a physical guided meditation. After about 6 weeks, I'll shift it to, all right, everybody here has seen a tree, right? Everybody, okay, now go inside here, find the tree of your choice, and make it detailed to you. That's your meditation. And
Hmm.
they'll say, well, what do you mean detailed? Right down to you remembering the ant crawling in the groove of the bark, paying attention, feeling the energy. You have memory in your body. You know what a bark feels like on a maple tree, apple tree, then a birch tree. Birch tree is not rigid, it's smooth. You have
Mhm.
memory of that. So I have them bring that up. I might have them bring in water. But what I also pay attention to, everybody has their fears, hurdles. So I may ask somebody, anybody in here had a problem with fire in their life, problem with heights in their life? I leave those things out of the guided meditation, because you
Ah,
could trigger somebody's past experience. You see, so you have to know, like a comedian, you got to know your audience. You got to know what you can say and what you can't say, because everybody's paying attention to your direction, what you're doing. So that's very important. Now, the other kind is where
mhm.
I'm leading them to. Eventually, I'm leading them to a state of higher consciousness known as their higher self. And once I get them there, what usually happens for me so far, after about 6 months of being in meditation week to week, twice a week, joining me online and learning that way as well, they have an experience with their higher self. I've
Interesting.
had people in meditation, I know when they get it, it's like they're in the dream world, and I look over across the room and their eyelids are flickering. I said, that person's in touch with their higher self, right in the meditation. And then I'll
Interesting.
ask the person to explain, what did you see? Man, I saw these fireworks behind my eyes. Then I felt like a heavy hand on me. And I was going, yeah, it's your higher self. And then
Listen,
other people are wanting to have that experience. And I'll say, that was his or her experience. You won't get one like that. Yours will be a little more gentle.
now let me
Yours
say
might be
this.
the black space, and that's all you see.
Understood. Because let me tell you, the things the three of us have in common, we were all a product of born in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
There is no quiet space ever in New York City.
Right.
Sirens, fire engines, ambulance, police, motorcycle. They got
People.
a lot of
People
distractions.
running.
I mean, I'm so used to it. I'd get up at first about 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
while the city is supposedly asleep, and I would
Mm-hmm.
still hear some noise.
Mm-hmm.
By 6 or 7, forget it, forget
Mm-hmm.
it. But I've learned. I've been meditating so long. I've learned out. Even if I get up late, like 7 or 8, to do it, I seem to know how to meditate, even despite the noise of the fire engines, ambulance, construction. Because across the street from me, there was a construction that was over a year. That was so I had to get up before they got started. And that was about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do, Brandon? What do you do to get students who may be in an environment? You're in Mexico, so I'm
Right.
assuming Mexico
New
isn't as,
Mexico. Yeah.
New Mexico isn't as challenging as it is in New York City.
It can be. It has its other challenges. I tell you, it has its other challenges.
Yeah.
Out here, construction workers, like I live in a senior complex. I'm on the top floor, but it's only really the ground floor is one and then 2 floors up. So I'm on that second level up, they call it third floor. And
Yeah.
when people work on the roof,
Oh,
they
that
don't
is
care.
right there.
They don't care if you're awake or asleep. They're up there dropping power tools. And when they drop them, they're not dropping them from like 2, 3 inches off the ground. I mean, from their shoulder to here, boom, drop it. And I got eyes and eyebrows like Popeyes. Like, okay,
Yeah. And Brandon, how do you handle it?
So the
Because
power
you in Brooklyn, like Harlem is like always constant
always.
constantly.
traffic, motorcycles, something.
I've I've had matter of fact, I'll give you a real life example of what happened to me. I was leading meditation online and sitting in this same spot. The window was open. They were doing some construction back here. Um, and I thought I was in the clear for the evening. They were done. As we were like smack in the middle of meditation, all of this noise started coming up. And so the power of suggestion says, and as you hear this background noise, allow it to help
Hmm.
you to go deeper into your meditation. So
Hmm.
what
Ah,
I program myself, and sometimes like with my students, any noises that you hear, just allow that to be a tool to help you or a resource to
Right.
help you to go deeper into your meditation.
Hmm.
yeah, because I noticed when I first started and when I hear noise, my attention actually went more to the noise than
But
away
that's
from it.
natural to do that. That's a defense mechanism that we all have. We hear a sound and we're gonna investigate.
Check it
Like
out.
Brandon, I'll do the same thing. We'll hear something, and when had our my friend had her school at another location, it was always activity. They said, I can't get paid. There's motorcycles, there's this. I said, this is what we're gonna do. I want everybody to get up and go to the door and just look to see what kind of activity is in the parking lot. I said, now divorce yourself from that. That's a given. So, what you're going to pay attention to is your breath. Or I will tell them, I got 20 people in a room. This is what I need you to do. The 20 of you must act like the person on either side of you and across from you is not there. The only person you're in the room with is me.
Mm,
So
hmm.
when I tell them to do that, they do not hear the other person fidgeting, moving, coughing, getting up out of their seat, going to the. They don't hear any of that. All they hear is their breathing and my voice. And and I have to thank you for this, Lloyd. All the years I was a guest on the radio, and those people, the engineers were modulating our voice, you know. And
Hmm.
I've learned how to modulate my voice in the class.
Interesting.
So I can go
Interesting.
from real loud to, I need you to do this.
Where they be saying, huh?
Yeah, and that's what they do. They lean forward, and then I can get them to relax. I can tell when they're hypersensitive. I says, "You're getting to that point, everybody, but I need you to do this. Inhale through the nose and let your breath right out your mouth right now. Do that a few times. That will get you back." And then I'll tell them, like, touch the center of your chest. Behind there is your heart. Go there. So my creative pathwork meditations, they're heart centered. You start from the heart, you return to the heart,
Excellent.
you stay there.
Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to go to some of our comment sections for those who may have wanted to ask questions about
Mhm.
meditation. But for many of those who will get birthdays, me, I'm not going to do no readings. I'm going to let you two handle it. You guys, y'all running the show this evening, okay?
Uh-oh.
The
All
only
right.
thing, let me tell you, I says, wow. Now I always start with melanated religiously. This person is here every single Monday and Wednesday. And I says, I hope they don't feel obligated that like they gotta show up, but they do it. So I mean it's deeply appreciated. And I always thank my moderator, Empress Rel, every Wednesday that comes in. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna greetings to all NST. Okay, okay. Let me say, everybody's saying great evening, beautiful evening, everybody. So I want to see if anybody has a question. Oh, here's Venus. Y'all may know her. They says I had the pleasure of working with each of these gentlemen, and all I can say is that each of them are masters in their own right. Much love, Portia.
Yes.
Hey, Portia, thank you.
Thank
See,
you.
she knows how to make a man feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all of the people do. I'm
Oh, shit. Okay, all warm and fuzzy and stuff. Yeah.
And this is one of my favorites too, Sister Maya. She's a Virgo, born on the 13th of September, and she's always giving greetings too. And T. Harris says also blessings. I mean, and Stephen, I mean, I just have a nice group of viewers. They're all family as far as I'm concerned. I call it
Mhm,
the Loud with Lloyd family.
mhm.
Okay. Okay, now here's the first one. Be right. So I'll let you guys figure out how you want to do it. Um, she says, can I get a general reading? She's born February the 18th of 58, born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Thank you all and grateful. Now,
Mhm.
how do you, I guess we'll go seniority first. Revels-Bey, you first, and
Yeah.
Brandon, you second.
Yes.
Okay. I like that seniority. Yeah.
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Yes. So here's a cool thing that you want to, if I got this right, she is in a seven life path or destiny number. And that's all about striving to become more spiritual oriented throughout your life. Really start to explore. And the number seven is going within. The number 18 is like a Piscean number, even though she's born under the sign of Aquarius. I guess she's like literally almost on top of the sign of Pisces coming up too. So
Mm-hmm.
the 18 is like a dreamer, like study dreams, go deep within yourself. One of the things I picked up that I keep hearing in my head for Sister V right here is you need to start exploring a little deeper, not just like if you were studying astrology and astronomy, numerology, and palmistry, you need to follow your gut feeling about things. One of the most important things that 18s can do, no matter what sign they're born under, they make excellent teachers. So find what you love to do and teach that, share that with the public. She can do, we got all this digital stuff going on now, but I always see her since she's in the 50s like myself. There's a part of the old school side, and is that teaching live. getting a small group together and
Mm-hmm.
interacting with a group like that. That's one of the foremost things that she should be doing. And right now she's in a one personal year.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Mm-hmm.
about new beginnings, new starts. Really take your time. That's
Good.
what I gotta say.
Brandon, you next. This Denisha Hanson. She says, "Good evening, gentlemen. She'd like to know what's coming up in her relationships. She is 2/22/85. That's interesting. Notice both are close. One is just
Hmm.
4 days
Reverse
old. One was
numbers.
born in 58. It flipped it around to 85. Okay. And they're in Kansas City, somewhere near, not too far from
Really close.
Oklahoma. That's
Hmm.
interesting. Oh, so what
So,
say you about this young lady?
so I would say for this young lady, they're in a 5 personal year this year. So this could indicate some sort of changes, some sort of movement. Um, but these changes normally indicate making some sort of changes for the better. So maybe this, I'm not sure what what the dynamic of the relationship is like. Let's say if this has been a relationship that's been going on for a few years, and you've been kind of questioning, all right, do we go this way? Does the relationship go that way? What are we really doing? This would be the year to make a decision, and not only to make a decision, but to make a decision for the worse. I mean, for the better, rather. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you know what certain past decisions have brought you in terms of like results. So this is that year that's going to ask, are you going to continue to do the same thing over and over again, or are you going to do something different to get a different result?
Okay. Now, gentlemen, this is going to apply to all of us here. This is from Venus Black. She
Hmm.
says, since today's the 29th and her birthday is on the 20th, I thought it was going to be a great day, but I got into a car, uh,
Mm.
into a four-car accident today. So much for luck.
Hmm.
What say you? I'm going to take my response for last. Revels-Bey or
Okay.
Brandon, who want to handle it first?
Well, her birthday, she says she's on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She don't
And
say which month, but it's
yeah,
you
it's
know.
okay. You don't have to say the month.
And she said
So
it was a four-car accident.
yeah. So the thing is that 20 and 29, that gives a four. That's 31 is a four. So what I'm kind of picking up is this might be something where she can begin to tune in and start to think or feel different
Mm-hmm.
energy going on around herself. And I know for just for my short experience of her in my class, she's extremely magnetic. So it's like some things you can't even prevent.
So
All you,
that you so you're familiar with this individual.
yeah.
Okay.
One of the things I've felt in teaching the class that this person is extremely magnetic. So sometimes you're drawing things to you without you don't have any control over it. The
Sure.
blessing is you're alive, you walked away from it. Now learn how to shield.
Brandon.
Interesting that the wordings that Brother Revels-Bey used, because I just kind of looked to see what was today. Today is, if I believe it's correct, we're at a 7 Universal Day.
It's a
Hmm.
6 Universal Day.
6 Universal Day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
6 Universal Day. She says a four-car accident. So I already see that there's just some general opposition there.
Right.
Um,
Right.
the 29th and the 20 adds up to the four, as Brother Rebel said, and this deals with odd and unexpected or sudden unexpected, whether this could be changes, odd and unusual events and occurrences. Um, so I would say I would wonder what was the state of mind before these accidents occurred.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
Over
would that
several
would
days.
probably be what I would wonder. Um, but odd and unusual occurrences, as with this kind of energy of the four that's going on, it does make sense, even though it doesn't
And
make
it
sense.
is a 4 universal month for May,
Hmm.
which is interesting too.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Now my
it would
spin on
be
it.
paying attention to things over the last couple of weeks because that's when things pull us into something that's off or incorrect or like an accident because we kind
Okay.
of feel it ahead of time, but we don't
My
know what we're feeling.
spin on this is this, gentlemen. With car accidents, people are killed so often. Here it is. She was involved in a 4-car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that she was able to come on the show this evening, text that, because don't forget she could have been in a car accident where she did not have to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I did
Mhm.
feel the fact that she's on the 29th. I mean, she was on the 20th and it occurred on the 29th. I'm willing to bet you maybe she was one of that 4-car accident that maybe didn't have to go to the hospital. Maybe somebody else did.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
to me, I look at it as a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had people that said their cars was total, but they walked away unscathed. But it just
Mm-hmm.
happened that the date matched their date of birth. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what my thinking is. So I don't, she didn't go
That's
into
also
the,
where the luck. That's also where the luck is.
yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I call these birthday numbers now angel numbers.
Yeah.
You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see. Okay. Let me see if there's going to be anybody's got some
Questions.
questions. Okay, here's Miss Sylvia D. She said she ordered your book, Radiant Heart, and looking forward to digging into it. Thanks, Sylvia. She's one of our regulars too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
And
remember her from
also,
before. Yeah.
Momo Gallison says, Miss Sylvia agreed, can't wait to learn more. By the way, before I take any more, let me just show you. This is Radiant Heart, what you call this latest book. Hold on one
Mm-hmm.
second,
You
gentlemen.
got to get Momo's name out the way.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my buddy's Brandon's book. Both these books are gotten and available on Amazon. All right, or maybe you can get it directly from them. But
Mm-hmm.
this is Revels-Bey's book. I mean, excuse me, Brandon Smith's book that I am very proud to own a copy of it. And this is Brother Revels-Bey book. And I don't know who designed it, but I love the whole sense and the energy from the cover of the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, part of that was Amazon stock, but I said and I looked around. Other people were using that. I said, but no one has a picture of a white candle that I still have on my laptop. And I found the right image and played with it. I said, oh, there it is. That's what I wanted. To
Okay,
remind
gentlemen, I
me.
have a question from Sister Maya. She says recently when she was doing transcendental meditation and saying the mantra, she began to get visuals of ascending.
Hmm.
Before she would ascend and have visuals of swimming. Can you tell what that means, gentlemen?
Yeah. First of all, when you're using mantras are phrasings. So the phrasing that you use with the rhythm of the breathing and how you are wording those things, when they're said approximately anywhere from 108 times over and over to upward to 3,000 times. And that doesn't mean you have to have one sitting with 3,000 repetitions, but you're building up energy, and there is awareness where you're having a breakthrough. But before there, yeah, you feel like you're diving, you're swimming, you can't get out of the lower vibration. Transcendental means exactly what it means to transcend. So when you're transcending that physical, the etheric, the emotional body, the causal body. But here's what's going on. You have that astral energy field, and people think the astral belt is the stars. That's not what it is. The astral belt is like Brandon was saying, you hearing thoughts. They make your thoughts. There's thousands, millions of thoughts rolling around
Yeah, in the ether.
in
Yeah.
the ethers, and in the astral belt there's a lot of negative emotional energy. That's where, and people say, well, I'm going to have an out of body, I'm going to have an astral travel experience, and then they tell you, I saw all these demons, I saw all these faces. These were all your fears, all your doubts, plus stuff you've watched over the years on TV that scared you to death out of your shoes. All that stuff is inside of you. And when you relax enough, it comes out of you. But it's like behind you, and then you see it's like you're in a sea of it. So you're having the experience. You have to be willing to still do the meditation, because eventually you do get a clear breakthrough. And the clear breakthrough is you don't see any of that anymore.
Okay. You mentioned meditating in the park. This is from Stephen and Carol Williams out of
Mhm.
Chicago. He says, whenever my wife and I meditate in the park, we attract dogs. Got to be the energy. What would you say
Well,
to that
because
guy?
the dogs are sensitive and they hear things. They
Ah,
smell things over a long distance. So if Brother Stephen and his wife are out there meditating, you better believe that dog that picked up on your scent. It is now gonna go, I'm walking with my master, but there's something going over here that I need to be a part of. And if you're radiating light from yourself, love and peace, that animal picks it up, and they're able to track you to wherever you're at. Insects will do it too. Come up right out of the ground and go to where you're at.
that's
Yep.
interesting. I've never meditated in the park. Maybe I'll do that.
So I've had experiences with my sister's dog. Had another dog, like I would dog sit from time to time. I'd sit down for meditation, and guaranteed within 2 to 3 minutes, the dog is either jumped up in my lap, or I look down and the dog is just laying at my feet. Because, like Brother Francis said, they're very sensitive to the energies,
Hmm.
um, and so they just like want to be there in the space. My landlord's dogs downstairs, they bark for no reason. When I'm in meditation, that's the quietest that I'll hear them. Like
That's interesting.
they'll be
Hmm.
quiet.
That's interesting.
Part of it is I put the intention out that I want to cover the entire area with energy. And so it's all right, everything calms down, quiets for now for a minute, and then as soon as I finish meditating, all right, thank you.
Like, what? Why did you stop? I was just getting into it. Well,
it
this.
was too short, Rev. Go back.
Yeah. And somebody, Divine Nine Man says, Brandon is wonderful at guiding meditation. He is. I bear witness. I was a part of that. And Co-Color says, you guys are having way too much fun.
You ain't
Yeah.
seen nothing yet.
We're serious, but we were trying to make it entertaining because we're very serious about calming the mind.
Look,
A lot of people are uptight. A lot of people are under a lot of mental stress and
yeah,
pressure.
the
Mhm.
And
humor will
we,
create your tension.
yeah.
And I'm from the old school. When I was into meditation, ain't nobody was smiling in meditation. Nobody was, they were accustomed to somebody barking out instructions. So I made it my business to learn how to teach, go to senior citizen complexes. I go to yoga centers. I would go to other places, and I realized they're not happy because nobody's sharing the love. I got a lot to share, so I got out there and I started putting it out there. And another thing about meditation is also um, animals. I learned this: dogs, cats, they see images. They see images. They see pictures. They go by the tone of your voice. If you're talking to an animal and you say the dog is barking loud, and you go inside voice, they know what you mean because you done projected the image of them being quiet. What does the dog do? What did you say?
Wow. Now, this person here says, when I meditate, I just use noise as the canvas on which I meditate,
Mm-hmm.
except that they are there, that I do not focus on them.
Right. It's
Mhm.
just images passing through.
This is interesting,
And
gentlemen.
sometimes, but Lloyd, like I get really creative and fun with the meditations. I thank my distractions sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if something comes up and distracts me, whether it's a thought, whether it's a noise, whether it's whatever it is, I'll thank that thought because at least I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who literally walk around in this earth like zombies and they're not aware of anything. So just being able to have that awareness, I'll say thank you, but but I don't need that at this moment.
Right. And I've
Interesting.
always said, meditate deeply, but not so deep that you don't know there's an emergency happening around you.
Yeah, yeah. Focus. Okay.
Stay
Now,
alert.
Stephen E says, do you have a suggested frequency or sound to utilize during meditation? I've heard somebody use these are like these
Tuning forks,
not just
crystal
tuning forks,
bowls.
The sound
but
bowl.
Yeah, sound bowls, and also those things that sometimes you hang out where the wind will blow them.
Oh, wind
Times.
chimes.
Yeah, wind chimes, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of things. You go ahead first. Go ahead, Brandon. You had something you was going to
yeah.
say.
This one school of thought that when you look at the musical notes, each note has a specific vibration. And just to get, not to go through all of it, if you can get a pitch of the note G. So if you're looking for like what is a note, whether if you get like a tuning fork, pitch, if you have a piano, something, whatever, you have that note G, preferably in the middle to the upper ranges, not too high, but like in the
Hmm.
middle to semi range, that range there. That's a good tone. Um, Going back to an earlier question we had about mantras, you can chant a mantra on a specific tone. So now
Right.
you start incorporating a number of different things, the power of word with sound and vibration. So there are a number of different things, but G is a good one in terms of bringing down energy that's going to be very cleansing, very purifying to the system.
Question. This is interesting. You have to help me with this one. Does Hemi Sync help with meditation? What is Hemi Sync, guys?
Well, that's working with right brain and left brain.
Oh,
Um,
like the hemisphere.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Oh,
a
got you.
lot of it has to do with subliminal meditation, where you can actually, if you have the right equipment, you can hear a high pitch. Sometimes they use a woman's voice and a man's voice. So the man
yes,
will pay attention to the woman's voice. So they'll pitch that in on the right side, and the woman may hear the man's voice and they pitch that in on the left side.
Interesting.
Indigenous shamans do the same thing. They
yes.
have a two-sided drum, male and female. One side is a low tone, that's the male, and just slightly higher is the female. And they'll bang accordingly to what they're needing to bring forward. So that's also very important. So when you get a subliminal, you can begin to hear the different things. Hi there, Melanie, and the other people.
Yeah, she says, and she's from Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
one of
like a
my
blessing.
following students. So
That's
you're listening, and it's two different sounds. But one, you're going to either pay attention to a high pitch repeatedly or a low pitch, and it goes back and forth. Hemisync is trying to bring these two sides together. But here's the other kick: you got a back lobe and you got a front lobe. So you still, if you want to go deep into your meditation, I tell people touch yourself in the back of the head, where the crease is from the neck. That's where your mind is going to wind up at. That deep back there. You're behind the pituitary and the pineal gland vibration, and you're on the stem or the top of your spine. If
interesting.
you can ever get there, then you can have what they call true transcendental meditation, where you actually are going up and you just continue to go up,
Would
but
any of
have
you
to be
like to
grounded.
take this one? They're born February 4th, 66 at 3:15 p.m. in Chicago. She says she's been taking your advice about meditating. May I have a general reading about my new business and having better relationships?
Mm. Well,
Any of you?
you're born in 1966. People born with master numbers in their birth years like that um, take a long time to make up their mind, and sometimes will shift their mind, shift their decisions often. So if being involved in a relationship or a business, you kind of have to let your partner or partners know that you need a little bit more time to make the correct decision for yourself, so things can work out harmoniously. And then she's a number four. So four is a genius. Four knows what they're going to do. They may not always know how they will go about doing it, but they need more time to really make the proper decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brandon, this person here, Jayla Billions, she's a Capricorn, born on the 3rd of the month. So I assume it either she is born on December 30th or January 3rd or January 12th.
See,
Uh,
I'm assuming that's January 3rd.
I
Hmm.
am too. That was my first assumption. We're on the same page, Brandon. Definitely.
So what I would say, interesting, this person is in a three personal year. Yeah, they're in a three personal year as of January, and particularly they have the vibration of the 12-3. So
Mhm.
if this person is broke, and firstly I would ask, what do you describe or how do you define broke? What does that mean? Is it a cash flow crisis? Is it a cash flow crisis, or is it self sabotage? Like, what does broke mean? Because broke means something isn't working. So that would be the first question that I would ask is, what does you mean by broke? And if it is financial, I would ask a question is, if you have dreams or goals or projects or things that you're working on, who are you sharing these things with? Because this is the year that if you talk about what you're doing before you start doing it, people can
Mhm.
help you to sabotage yourself. So this is that year
Interesting.
where you can get yourself out of this rut. But it's about changing, firstly, your mindset, changing how it is you look at the world, and then maybe even like your demeanor, being able to have that smile and that positive disposition. Because when we have more positive energy, whether that's happiness, joy, love, bliss, peace, whatever the case is, those energies and those vibrations tend to attract prosperity more than pity and doubt and anger and resentment or things of that nature.
Okay, good. Venus Black, that we were answering a couple of minutes ago, said she really appreciates the insight. This was the one that was in the four-car
Mhm.
accident. She says, I was in the attitude of gratitude when it happened because I was still able to drive away and no injury. See, that's what
That's
I'm
what
saying.
Brandon said. No
Yeah,
injury.
but there could have been somebody of that four that had to
Yes.
go to the hospital,
Mhm.
okay, or whatever the case is. So sometimes people don't realize how blessed they can be. And I also want to give a thank you to Sci-Fi Fantasy Girl. They're born on March the 24th. That makes them in Aries. Would love some guidance in their career. Well, I
Mhm.
can tell you this: they're in a 8 personal year, so this year is going to be good for. And in fact, they're going to have a breakout moment not only in June but especially July when they enter a 6 personal month. June
Mhm.
is a 5 personal month, but late February, late June into July is a 6 month. And I would say that's when she's going to shine. That's when she's probably going to really do a complete makeover on her appearance, her hair, and other things like that. Okay. Okay. Gentlemen, do y'all have cash apps on your banners?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so y'all pay attention, J Billion, Jayla Billions, because I'm about to give their
Hold on,
banner.
Brother Lloyd, before you do that real quick, I just looked at her name, and this is the one that just
Ye-
asked that question.
Yes, he
Yes.
was
Oh,
exactly.
Jayla Billions, stop claiming that. I'm going to tell you that.
Stop
As
claiming what?
I'm broke.
Oh
Because here
yes,
it is.
yes, yes,
Here it
yes,
is,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. Understood.
Real strong teaching moment. Brother
Mhm.
Francis talked about mantras.
Mhm.
Right? The word mantra literally means mind tool. Man meaning mind, tra meaning tools. This is a
Mhm.
mind tool that we use to create our realities. So when we say
Mhm.
I'm broke, 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 what happens is the universe says, all right, well, let's remove all abundance, all prosperity, all resources, all money away from you. So that way we can make sure that you're not a liar.
And stay
Mhm.
broke.
Stay broke.
Reverend Ike used to say it all the time.
You
So
know, I was just
I
going to
am
mention
is the
Reverend Knight.
name. Yeah, he would say I am is the wording or phrasing of God. Watch
Yes.
what you say after it.
Because
Whatever you say after I am, and he
You
says
are.
the feelings have a lot to do with it. If you're feeling depressed and you say, "Man, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired." The universe goes, all the universe hears heaviness, tiredness. Hey, they want more tiredness. They got it.
No energy.
No
Another
energy.
thing he was saying too about spending, he says, don't look at it as spending money, look at
Circulating.
it as circulating money
Right.
because it's circulating money. And in fact, I'm going
Circle.
to do a piece about him and Johnny Coleman. She had a church out in
Florida.
Chicago, and
Okay.
in 1985, he was the king of prosperity, and she was the queen of prosperity. They did a whole way of liberation theology, not a slave theology. And and a lot of people did not like it because at that time, especially in our communities, we were taught to get, well, we'll get ours in the by and by up in heaven. He was saying, nah, man, that's not what's up. That's not what's up. We can get it right here on planet Earth. So it was those kind of attitude that he was very sick. And people really didn't like him because of his success, but he was proving a point that you can have things while on earth.
What they don't understand was he grew up with nothing.
Exactly. In 1935 on June the 10th.
He grew up with nothing. And he had to step by step by step by step, he began to make changes in different places. He even said he had a chance to go to New York City. How did he come to New York City at around 8? Yeah, you got it now. Around age 15.
Get this book. Get this book.
Gotta get it.
Get this book.
Because it tells the truth. He didn't
Yeah.
always have that.
And it was written by his son,
His son.
Mark
And-
Victor Hansen, and his son,
Right.
Xavier Eichen-Carter.
Yeah.
But get this book. Get this book.
He didn't always have it that way.
Mm-mm.
Step by step by step, like 30 years to get. So a lot of things that we're doing, it doesn't happen overnight. There is trial and error. There's some times you got tears. I used to be walking around like in my 20s saying like kicking a can down the street, upset with myself because I made the wrong decision. One day I ran into a guy and he says, "Young man, I know your parents. Your mom started a business. Blah, 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 blah." Then he had me laughing. He said, "Let me go get you something to eat." I'm looking at him like he had the money to get me something to eat. But then Spirit says, "You might be entertaining an angel.
Yeah.
You better go get something to eat with that man that you don't think has anything." Then I saw him again, and I saw him again. He would go, "What you thinking about now, brother?" I said, "I learned. I'm thinking about I'm prosperous. I'm happy. I'm this. I'm that." He said, "Young man, come over here and give me a hug." I gave him a hug. What he put in my hand was a $5 bill. Go buy yourself something.
We're going to take one more. Brandon, you're going to take this one, and then the last one is going to be for Revels-Bey. This person is August 8th. Advice about their love life from Elizabeth Codner.
Let's see.
Powerful year coming up with that.
Yeah.
They're all in your business, Elizabeth.
So this person is going in a 6 personal year this year. Yep, this is a 6 personal year. So 6, the 6 is the romance number. There are 3 numbers that deal with relationships and love: 2, the 6, and the 8. Of those 3 numbers, as Brother Lloyd has shared with us thousands of times, the 2 is the iffy. Don't hold that against me. I didn't choose to be born on the 20th. You know, it is what it is. The 6 deals with romance and finance, and the 8 deals with finance and romance. So I would say for Elizabeth this year, let's say if you are in a relationship, if you're dating someone and things are going, if they're on the fence and they're like, all right, maybe we might be going to the next level. It wouldn't surprise me if some of those conversations have happened this year, or maybe you've met someone. If you're not in a relationship, I would suggest looking out for someone who is under the sign of maybe Taurus, Libra, whose birthday may add up to the number 6, which could be the 6th, the 15th, or 24th of any month, and the 6 and the 8s go well together. So that also could indicate to me this would be a very loving relationship with some sort. Okay, she's telling me that she's single.
So Brandon, you're good. You're good.
Yep. So this could be a year that you could possibly meet a Taurus, a Libra, someone whose birthday adds up to a 6. And then this is also a year about if that relationship comes into place, make sure that, hey, what else are we going to be doing? Where is this going? You're just going to be spinning the wheels, because the 6 is also an earth number. So it deals with property, it deals with longevity. And so it would indicate this year you're looking for a serious long-term relationship.
But that makes sense, because 6 is earth, which deals with practicality too.
Yeah.
Revels-Bey, your turn. Greetings, gentlemen. My name is Mark Matthews. They are August the 12th, 76. They have a 7 life path. They're in a 1 personal year. I believe any insight would be appreciated. Well, they did a lot of the work for you.
Yeah, thank you. Took it off my hands there.
I like.
Well, yeah, the 1 personal year is start looking at some things that you didn't have a chance to do over the past 8 or 9 years ago, because there's some unfinished things that you want to now go back to and put into motion. That's going to be very important. You got the 7 life path number. That's very important. Get to know who you are psychologically. Because in this year, when you're starting off something fresh like this, you don't want any interruptions. You want to have your courage in place, conviction in place, mental strength in place. And guess what? The last person and this person, everybody born in the month of August, close to August the 8th. And this year is
That's right. It's
888.
Lions Gate or something.
Lionsgate, the Leo time
Yeah,
flame,
yeah.
888. Expect some good positive opportunities to be coming your way. And Mark Matthews, I don't know, something about you is supposed to be a businessman, an entrepreneur. And if you don't see any business out there that you don't like, universe is saying, I need for you to create something.
But and this is his year anyway, since the year of the
Trend
eight, not
center.
unless he's going to wait till 2033.
No, he should start now.
Now, exactly.
Start now. Start investigating the kind of business he would like to run. Maybe he had somebody had a business in their family. He's going to do it better.
Now, I got a question. There's one last one for both of you. It's
Hmm.
from Africa Forever. What's up, family? Is there a particular time to meditate, whether it be in the AM, noon, or at night? Or
Okay.
does it all depend, gentlemen?
It depends on who you are. We all got our own cycles. I tell people try different times. When you get up in the morning, that usually when you get up in the morning, that first 20 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you're coming out of the deep alpha state, right at the door where dreams begin. That's an excellent time to meditate because you're still plugged in to that energy. Some people can't do a noonday. Some people might meditate one. But here's what I've learned over the years through reading, study. We're the right passage nostril is solar, and the other side is lunar. Morning time is this nostril functioning more, and the left nostril is functioning somewhere between 1 and 2 p.m. It takes over. And so more energy is coming up in and out of the nasal passage on the left hand side. So some people can do midnight, but like Lloyd gets up, I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, or I should say, I'm up, period. I'm
Yeah.
walking around in my apartment doing things I have to do, and meditation is one of them, or working on a numerology chart, or I
Hmm.
might feel like doing some artwork. I'll do it. You know, I sit quietly during that time. The Chinese say lung qi happens from 3 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
lungs are picking the pure oxygen out of the air. That's one of the best times to meditate. Sometimes it's a place where it can be absolutely quiet. Now, like out here in New Mexico, there's people that live it up in the hills and the mountains. And I'll go out there because I was born from Long Island. I said, it's too quiet out here. I need to come out when I could get a little bit of activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
Brandon.
mind quietness.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just that it's a surreal kind of quietness. So you have to find. So try meditating for a week when you first get up in the morning. Try meditation around between 10 and 12. Right around in there is a good time to try out. Try doing meditation between 1 p.m. and 2 or 3 o'clock, 2 p.m. Then try doing it after sunset. You have to find your time. Everybody's time is different. But what is most important is regulation. Do it once you find it, stick to it.
Consistent. You got to be
Be
consistent.
consistent. Strive for 20 to 30 minutes. Be consistent. Now, what can happen is this: you can jump from a 30-minute meditation one day a week and find yourself not being disturbed for a whole hour. You've sat for an hour in meditation. When you can do that, your body looks forward to it. Now it's training you. Hey, man, Brandon, Brother Francis, Lloyd, it's
Yeah.
going to be 7 o'clock soon. I need you to cut the TV set off or down. I need you to go into the den. I need you to let everybody know this is your time. It's you and I going to link up. And the one you're going to link up with is your higher self right at that time.
Now, Brandon, what about you, buddy? What's is there a time that you prefer, or as she says, is it morning, afternoon, or evening, or as Revels-Bey say rightfully so? I guess it all depends.
Yeah,
It all depends.
I tell people the best time is the time that you can commit to.
Hmm.
That
So
makes sense.
if
Yeah.
you
That
if
makes a
you want,
lot of logical sense.
yeah, the only time where I have a meditation where I'm going to follow it on a specific time is during the full moons. So I meditate at the peak of the full moon every month, and so those times, of course, they vary. Sometimes it's in the morning, like the last full moon, which was the full moon of Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Uh, that was at the peak of the full moon was at 9:53 a.m. Um, the full moon before that was at like 7 something p.m. One year, I think last year, the full moon of Scorpio, which is also known in some of the Buddhist tradition as the Wesak festival,
Hmm.
that was at like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and there are literally thousands of us online meditating. I will say that at the peak of the full moon that night, I was up. As soon as we finished, quickly rolled over
Hmm.
because I'm not a morning person. Y'all are getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to go meditate. Sometimes I'm just coming in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, I know that's right.
So I ain't getting up at that hour to meditate.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch first to Revels-Bey. And Revels-Bey, I want to put your banner on there so people know how to get in touch with you.
Hmm.
And I will say it, Francis E. Revels-Bey, are superb. Actually, he's a numerologist extraordinaire, author, creative pathwork meditation. His site is circleofgrace1.us. Is that correct?
Yes,
And his number is 505-220-2583. Is that correct?
that's right.
And your email is im.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
More importantly, your cash app,
Hmm.
$Francis E. Revels-Bey.
No spaces, no dashes, no nothing. Just like,
That's
but it has to be just like that, though.
with the capital E.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, in other words, if they write it with a small e, you're not going to get your
You
donation.
may not get it.
Well,
As I
we got
said,
to make sure. See, I'm glad we went over
it
this.
it it
Okay?
because, and I put it that way because, like we said, we got people trying to imitate us, right?
Yes,
And so
yes.
they'll say that's my cash app, and guess what? They'll get money, but digitally, it's still in the ethers. They didn't get it.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't,
Little bit of side entrapment
seem
there.
like people
So
would find something else better to do.
right,
Okay.
but not really.
All right. Brandon, your turn, buddy. Uh, Reverend Brandon Smith, minister, healer, numerologist, musician, author. And I'm going to bring up the books later on. Your site is b-wellness energy, wellness.com. Is that correct?
Yep, b-wellnesswellness.com.
And your email is Brandon at b-wellenergywellness.com.
Yep.
Okay, your contact number is 866-649-6211.
Yep.
Your Instagram is BJ Smith number 5. Is that
That's
correct?
one. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
one of them says.
Okay.
Jazz
And
musician.
your cash app is $BJ Smith 5.
Yes.
So everything there is absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. So y'all have no excuses how to get in touch with these distinguished gentlemen. By the way, let me give you their book so you can see it. So this is Brother Revels-Bey book, Radiant Heart. I love the title. I
Mhm.
really love the title, man. It's so you as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And this is available. His book is available on Amazon. And also to my good buddy, my baby brother, Brandon Smith, Namaste to Numbers. And it's so interesting because Brandon would come to my house, right? Sometimes my cat would try to eat his food and all that stuff, but above that's a whole nother story. But see, I grew up in the church very much, and we were always told certain things that this was like taboo and whatnot. But see, he grew up out about 3 or 4 generations of ministers in his
Mhm.
family. And what he did was he took the Bible and took quotes from it, and it's the most amazing book. So anybody, if y'all ever on the sitting on the fence about
Mhm.
what this is good or not good, y'all need to get this book. Y'all need to have this book in your library, because he will take passages and ask quotes from the Bible, chapters and verses and whatnot, and apply it. Brandon, you did an amazing job as far as I'm concerned, buddy. I'm telling you
Had a
straight.
great teacher.
Amazing. Yeah, but you got to be a great student too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot for you. Gentlemen, I want to thank you very, very
I
much.
got two things I want to say.
Please do.
I know I'm putting my foot in my mouth. I did it in 2022, and I was answering 80 emails. So, hey, you got 2 weeks. If we didn't touch you, you got 2 weeks from today, up to 2 weeks from today. If we didn't touch your numbers, you can send me an email, and I'll give you a little quick blurb. That's number one. Number two, I am developing a 13-week course on the new book. It's going to start Wednesday, July 24th. It's going to be ending October the 16th, 2024. The price for the course will be $437 and an early bird fee of $365. If you want to get on it, email me and I'll send you all the particulars you need to know.
Well,
And
as you're coming up on that, can you let me know of a flyer?
yeah, and I'll send it to you. You can put it up there,
Brandon, what's up with you, buddy? What you got going on?
So right now for the year of 2024, I've been doing the Forgive 70 times 7 challenge. And
yes,
so
I meant to ask you about that. See, we got to come back on for that one. Good.
Yeah, Lloyd is going great. We're actually getting ready to go into our 6th month, starting next month. And next month has the theme of forgiveness around finances. So we've focused on forgiving ourselves, forgiving family members, forgiving enemies, strangers. Last month we even dealt with forgiving places and events. So it's definitely gaining traction. So anyone who is interested, I will say that this year it's free of charge. Next year it is going to be subscription based. It's like, all right, this is it works. So we're actually it's a whole program where we do weekly meditations. There's a monthly teaching that we do on the last weekend of every month to introduce the new theme, newsletters, recordings, there's a whole lot of information and teaching, so that way we can make forgiveness a lifestyle. And so anyone who's interested in joining me, just send me an email. Just let me know. We'll get you plugged in. We have a virtual community on WhatsApp where we support each other. If you're not interested in joining WhatsApp, that's cool. You'll get the same messages via the newsletter, and that's one thing that I'm doing. The second thing that I'm doing is I'm in the process of continuing a certification of pranic healing, and so I'm in the process of looking to get 25 clients who are interested in doing some healing work for some sort of whether it's a physical or emotional condition. So if that is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me by email. And we will have an initial consultation. We'll talk to see if this program is right for you. And then we'll
let me know about that so I can also make an announcement when you're ready. Okay.
The brother is bad. He's good. Don't miss the product healing, folks.
That's all I'm saying. Did you invite Revels-Bey onto your group yet?
He's coming. He's coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring mad love for that one, man.
Yeah. Brother Francis, I'm going to bring Brother Francis on a Sunday night, so he can do. I don't know if anyone has experienced meditation with Brother Francis. You cannot do a 5-minute meditation with Francis.
No.
You can't do a 10-minute or a 15-minute.
You be zoned out because you go get a video. You gonna see yourself in your chair slide out of your chair, zoned out.
So we're gonna give Brother Francis some time to take us up into the galaxy and then.
He's the best. He's the best. What you gonna say? How you gonna argue with the best? Okay.
Yes, Brother Francis. He's gonna be on. Jackie Levine is gonna be on. Talking to us about angel numbers and pinnacles. So, man, Lloyd, you're gonna come back.
Yeah.
My teacher Jeff Noble, he's been on. So literally, I've been so blessed to say that I've been able to learn from the greatest minds in metaphysics and healing and transformation. And so it would be selfish of me not to be able to share these resources to the people that I work with. And so I'm looking forward to the rest of this year with the challenge. So y'all come on and join us.
Yep. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Revels-Bey, take good care. Brandon, take care. I've got a couple of announcements to make with the sponsors, but thanks, guys. This was really great. And yes, somebody said I had fun. Yes, I always have fun. I mean, things are kind of serious enough as it is, but I do want to let you know that the show has been sponsored by intellectualpowers.net. And the thing I love about the product, it is absolutely free of heavy metals and glutens and wheat and dairy, soy, wheat, yeast, rather, sugar, artificial flavors, sweeteners, fillers, preservatives, added colors, and or animal byproducts such as gelatin, cholesterol, and collagen. And it's radiation free to keep you from glowing in the dark, which I think is a great thing. By the way, when you order the product, you tell the code to put in is numbers and you. And this way you get a 10% discount. And when you open the bottle of fragrance, you can tell it's not pharmaceutical like. No, it's like somewhere from the islands, which it is, from the island, beautiful island of St. Lucia. So also, I want to thank Monique, who is going to be on the show over in the summer about being on and talking about the whole history of Nicholas, Brooklyn. It is a very popular store in Harlem and equally more popular in Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street. I don't know how she does it, but she is on the money. Also, one of my favorite ladies, favorite guests, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, which I affectionately call Yana. She has an event, and it's so interesting. Her events come on Wednesdays at the same time mine do. So it ain't about, well, you got to pick mine over hers, but I'm just telling you those are her schedules. And I don't know what they're going to reruns, but when I have her back on, we'll know. And also for those manifest on purpose every Monday morning, every Wednesday morning with Miss Kimberly. And we will be having the June forecast on very soon. And lastly, this is for Jackie Levine's. This is the last day that y'all can order the books. So for those of you who maybe at that time logistically, financially, whatever, wasn't able to get her first book and or second book, now you can get both of them. So this is the last day. So to get your bid in, just go to jazzaphrodite.com/shop, jazzaphrodite.com/shop, because after that it's going to be a collector's item. And also to my good buddy King Simon, who is always planning so far ahead in the future. Bless his soul. And but his early bird special is going to take place on July 1st, and it's going to be there in Stone Mountain, Georgia, that Dr. Martin Luther King also put on the map with his speech there. Also, my main newsletter this same time next week, it'll be the June 24 newsletter. And what I do is I now collaborate with Miss Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose, and we will do the forecast. So the next one you'll see will say June 2024 forecast. And what you do, you can hear the actual oral version of me describing each of the zodiac signs. Okay. So here it's written. I can't write the way you write and the way you talk is two different animals. Trust me. And by the way, for those of you in July, like Brother Revels-Bey, I too am going to be teaching a course on how to become a certified numerologist, how to make this as a living. No, it's not going to be easy, but for those of you who are persistent, consistent, and really believe in themselves, I got something for you, because I've got a couple of decades of experience and all the background and credentials to do this. And what you do is just go to Numbers in You and Beyond workshop, and you go to a star 8 LLC at gmail.com, a star 8 LLC at gmail.com. And also, my app is getting better and better. More the kinks are worked out. Android users, no problems. Apple, they keep changing the algorithm of whatever the world they call themselves doing. So anyway, but definitely download it, and I do appreciate everybody very much. Everybody, have a great weekend. I enjoyed this, and especially my good brothers, Revels-Bey, and my baby brothers, I call them with a lot of love and affection, Brother Brandon Smith. These guys are great. All right, and I hope you learned something from this too. All righty. So everybody, have a blessed day until then.